Hey everyone, welcome back. Our next guest is the artistic director of the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance, also known as Baad, a performing and visual art workshop space and performance venue that creates, produces, presents, and supports the development of cutting edge and challenging works in contemporary dance and all creative disciplines that are empowering to women, Latinos, and people of color, as well as the LGBTQ community. Their 2022 Badass Women Festival showcases yet another group of talented women. And here to share more is no stranger to the show and my dear friend. He is the artistic director of the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance. Please welcome Arthur Avilés.
Oh,
Hi.
thank you so much, Rhina. Thank you for having us. I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for us to, express what it is that we've been doing for many, many years now. Here we are embarking on our Badass Women Festival, and you are an honorary alumni of Badass Women, which started in 2001. So I'm going through my archives right now, and I'm seeing your wonderful images of different performances that you did at Bad, and truly grateful to you for being a part of our organization and that revolution that we were sparking back then, and that continues to this day.
I know, and I gotta thank you for saying that, Arthur, because I just adore you both you and Charles Rice Gonzalez, and the work that we did, and really the risk that we took at a time that I want to say we were introducing like this unique form of expression to audience members that weren't necessarily used to that style of communicating, right? And
That's
so right. And even terms such as Badass Women, which, that's the name of the festival. That's the name the festival has always been. And I remember there was a time that we would need to alter the title because it wasn't appropriate or acceptable. And whereas even now, the LGBTQ community at that time is LGBTQ plus now, but at that time, there wasn't really a space. And Bad was founding that and creating that, and to see that you've been able to sustain it and have become like this huge, a very important cultural institution to maintain that form of expression, as well as that freedom to just be whomever it is that you want to be. And that to me has always been my beauty and most memorable moments, the beauty and most memorable moments of participating in anything related to Bad. So thank you. But we're here to talk about where Bad is now and what you're showcasing this year, Badass Women. It's always a blast. And I love that you also have some other alums that are presenting in this year's Badass Women Festival.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, we've been going for a few weeks now because we're into the Women's Month, right? And we just want to make sure that we're making sure that we're stepping up to the plate and presenting dance, film, and now we also have a book event that we're going to be presenting. And also, just so that people know, we ask for vaccination, but we also make sure that the masks are in place at this moment. Hopefully these things are going to change and open up. But, people are willing, if they're willing, they can go over to the concession and go get some seltzer water and something to drink or a little snack or something like that before a show. And it's there at Bad. So, it's just wants to be a welcoming space for everybody to come in as these times change. The audiences have been trickling in little by little. Everyone's thinking about getting off their couches.
Right. Well, it's going to take a little something. I was going to ask you what that's been like for you as well. Not you personally, but the Bad as it's an institute, what that's been like, that had to be extra work to convert everything into virtual presentations, and now bringing it back to in person, which is really what you are. You're, an actual physical space. The experience, obviously, there's no comparison to experiencing something this way versus being in person. And thank you for sharing that. You're also taking safety precautions in that capacity as well. However, having this all like now come into full-fledged, okay, we're going back to normal. How
Yeah.
has that been for even the performers? Are people
Uh,
not wearing masks? Like, I'm just curious, like what
yeah.
that's been like for everybody.
Well, thank you for that. It's really, it's been very trying for all of us. But I feel like people have been very respectful, when coming into Baad, when coming into our organization. And, I feel slowly we are, doing our best to follow the science and making sure that, things are as safe as possible. We want everyone from our organization to be safe. We're, happy to say that the guidelines that we have put in place have kept our space safe. We have an AATT Academy, which is our 6 to 9-year-old athletic dance program that, brings children into our space. And, at one point, they were not vaccinated, so we all had to wear our masks. The children, we wanted them to come into the space physically and really have this experience. And we're happy to say that from that, there were no cases. We, knock on wood, that went through a whole semester, and we're continuing this semester also. Like I said, slowly we're bringing in small groups of people to gather and taking it from there. And like I said, people have been very respectful, so I'm really
Right.
grateful.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's generally the kind of audience you have anyway. And the other thing I wanted to make sure everybody's aware of is that, it's called the Baddest Women Festival. However, it's kind of like non-binary and all inclusive. So just share with everyone what you experienced in this past month, because I mean, we are at the end of the month, but I also understand that you still have arts and some other experiences people can still come through for.
That's right. So yeah, what we have been presenting is really important, that Baad keeps its ear to the ground. And, the way people are identifying themselves is changing. And we want to be respectful to that also. I mean, the more people identify themselves as something other than, the better, and we want to find out what that is. And if you come to, Baad, Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance, you, will see more of that. So, let's see, on March 5th, we presented, Tamara Williams and Linda La, who are two Bronx trans women of color dancers. And they're from the Bronx. They gave us some really prolific ideas about like what it means to explore the themes of love and mortality and femininity. And, it's always fascinating and important for us to just make sure we're on top of that. So there was that, and then there was, Storey Michelle. It's a film called, Mama Rose, an Afrofuturist queer circular time traveling film. It's following stories of non-binary teen named Sid and their, trans archaeologist grandmother. And it's Mama Rose. And, they shared the journey towards, mending like their intergenerational wounds, through VHS archives and past and present and future times. So that was a fun event. And we had, Annabella Lenzu, who is a really wonderful dance artist, who showed us some films, and Marta Renzi. And then, now we're going to have, more, and many different incarnations of what it means to be a woman.
I love it. I love it. So before we go, we only have a few more minutes, and there's still, the month of March hasn't ended yet. And I understand you have some dance concerts coming up. So really quickly, what can people look forward to seeing for the remainder of the month?
Okay, great. Yeah. On, Friday, March 25th, that's, very soon, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, like a couple of hours away in the evening.
That's right. I love that. So it's the Bangladeshi, Academy of Fine Arts, BAFA, and it's led by, Margia Sharidi. She's a Bronx-based, artist who, has a real mesmerizing classical Indian dance and Kathak, Bharatanatyam, as well as Bangladeshi folk dance. And, you know, it's a full evening of works, and it's going to have sharp and graceful movements, compelling footwork. And she's got her own group right there in Parkchester. So she'll be at Baad on the 25th. Tickets are $20, but, you know, we have sliding scale. If people feel as if that's too much, call us up, let us know. We're free to our 10461 area code. We're free at Baad, but call us up if you really wanted to come and you don't have the $20. That's fine with us. There's also Soul Sisters. Yeah, there's Soul Sisters Badass Women Dance compilation. And we have some really wonderful performers like Shizu Homa, and we have Caroline Rivera, and Shizu's been with us for a long time. So these are wonderful artists. Then our last event is when, that event is March 26th. So 25th, tonight.
26.
Then 26, and now the March 30th, Reclaiming Your Neighborhood. It's a book signing of a MacArthur Award Fellow and Peabody Award winning Majora Carter. She's the author, and she's a really wonderful environmentalist in the Boogie Down. She created the Boogie Down Grind, which is a coffee house in Hunts Point. And she's going to be doing some readings from her book, and she's going to do some book signings. So come on, buy a book. It's a beautiful book, Reclaiming Your Neighborhood. You know,
I know, we had her on the show. So it's lovely that you guys are hosting her and that people can actually go and meet her up close and personal. I think the book is very important and very needed during these times. And Arthur, I can't thank you enough for the work that you continue to do within our borough, within the community, the LGBTQ community, within the next generation. And we're so happy to share Baad's grand reopening of in-person performances here on Open, and we can't wait to hear what else you got coming next. Everybody, once again, Arthur Avilés, Artistic Director of the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance. And if you're interested in visiting and or being an audience member for the remainder of the Badass Women Festival, you can either go to their website, which is badbronx.org, or you can just show up at 2474 Westchester Ave in the Bronx. And don't forget to check them out on Instagram at Bad Bronx. All right, stay tuned, because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.